Coming up today, the H20 chip is set to resume sales in China. We dive deeper into the Model Y that is set to launch in India. Gonna talk more about Crypto Week and how crypto is moving in general and how much money people has made and how to make the most money with some good plays. We're whipping out the data to talk about the inflation data set to release today that can potentially show tariff prices in the mix. Also, earnings coming out, set to move the market a decent amount, and how you can make the most plays out of earning, potentially doubling, tripling, or even quadrupling your money, and way more news and stuff like that to come out. But first off, man, we got to start off with something big. We're gonna start off talking about Crypto Week a little bit. Bitcoin, we had a little bit of a sell-off. I am personally watching that 117.5 to that 118.5 level to see if we can get another uptrend and potentially breaking some new highs. But with that being said, man, it is Crypto Week, so expect some big moves overall with Bitcoin, Ethereum, especially XRP. We hit that $3 level yesterday, and honestly, man, we can probably hit it again and go up even higher. Is this the right time to buy? And or are we going to keep on selling off is the question that you guys may be wondering. But if you guys are trying to get into some stocks to trade Bitcoin with, ETFs, and I'll even give you guys Ethereum one after this. But first one for Bitcoin is MSTR. They have a big holdings and they're up $30 billion unrealized profit, which is insane. Making a lot of money off this one, and people are investing in the MSTR based on how Bitcoin moves. Next one, of course, is going to be Coinbase. And I wanted to mention this one because we finally hit $100 billion in the market cap, which is honestly insane. And people are talking about Coinbase a lot. So have Coinbase on your radar as well. But BlackRock is actually expected to come out with their earnings. And one of their ETFs that did the best is IBIT. And IBIT is one that I've been personally trading, some option plays based on Bitcoin overall. And the options are relatively cheap. So if you guys are trying to get into some day swing or even long-term trades, this is one for you. In the money plays is around $250, and you can make a decent amount of money off this one if you guys play it right based on Bitcoin. But there's also an ETF that moves with Ethereum. It is ETHA, and this one is moving pretty decent too with the Ethereum movements, and it's only $22.50, and the options are even cheaper, but the dates are a little bit messed up a little bit, but honestly, it just makes it more safer, and it's $100 in the money if you guys want to get into Ethereum as well. So these are some stocks that I recommend trading based on Bitcoin and crypto movement in general. One way that you can become profitable is learning on the markets. And I have courses down below on everything that I needed to know to become profitable trading and how to get the best plays for myself. First link in the description below. They're relatively cheap and you'll make your money back within the first trading day. But let's talk about something that can move the market, especially early on. We have the inflation data. It's set to release today and it's going to be big for the market. Everybody's watching to see how big of a jump we will get. And this can also show tariff data if we do get any. People are anticipating tariff data, so keep that in mind. That could potentially bring the markets down overall. Maybe not too much. We are anticipating a 1% move. With that being said, though, it does impact how the Fed sees future rate cuts. So you can see the future rate cut odds go down or up based on this data. And also keep in mind that we'll get some Fed speakers throughout the day. But like I said before, market is pricing a 1% move with this. So you can see 1% up or down based in the S&P 500. So keep that all on your mind and on your radar. So some other big news, man. We got some good news over the night about its H20 chip for NVIDIA, making the stock spike almost $10 overnight. With that all being said, we can potentially continue this movement to the upside. We were kind of looking a little bullish in the short term, honestly, but then we finally broke out of it with this good news, the H20 chip. And they also have a meeting tomorrow, a media brief, July 16th, tomorrow, in Beijing, talking about the chip a little bit more. But NVIDIA is resuming sales of its H20 AI chip to China after receiving assurance from the US government that export license will be approved. The H20 chip was designed to comply with the US restrictions, but shipment had to be paused since April. This move could help NVIDIA recover from a $4.5 billion inventory hit and boost revenue in China, a key market that they have, and they can get that market back, basically. With that stock rise, man, it shows investor confidence in this, and we might be able to get a continuation to the upside with this. So keep this on your mind and on your radar overall. We also have Meta using tents to quickly build AI data centers while permanent buildings are under construction. The company is racing to catch up with the AI leaders like OpenAI and Google. These temporary setups help speed up deployment, and even though they face cooling challenges, CEO Mark is investing heavily in AI infrastructure. So watch Meta to the upside with this, because if they can catch up to OpenAI and potentially even Google, this can bring their market share up even more. So we're going to talk more about Tesla launching in India. So they did have a pricey Model Y due to the steep tariffs. The company's first entry into this market due to high import tariffs over 100%. The SUV is priced around $70,000, and that's $6 million in Indian money. making it the most expensive Model Y globally. Deliveries are expected in Q3 2025, with units initially imported from Tesla's Shanghai factory. So some earnings we have today before the bell is JP Morgan, Citi, Wells Fargo, BlackRock, and some other banks and stuff like that. Tomorrow we do have Johnson & Johnson, PNC, Morgan Stanley, M&T Bank, some other banks as well, ASML, Bank of America. So keep this all on your radar. After close, one thing that I'm hyped about is United Airlines, just because of Delta's earnings beat last time, brought all other airlines up. So if this one can beat as well, we can see a bigger movement to the upside. So one thing that I've seen yesterday, and AMD actually spiked up with NVIDIA's movement as well, but AMD did move a little bit better than NVIDIA yesterday and honestly held up stronger than NVIDIA if we look at both charts. Honestly, NVIDIA was kind of on a little bit of a short-term sell-off, and then AMD was kind of holding up a little bit stronger, but now we see both stocks honestly itching up higher from all this good news. So keep this on your monitor and your radar, because I'm personally probably going to be moving over to AMD for some trades as well. And we broke above that 150 level. So if we could hold above that 150, man, I'm looking at 155 to that 160. But if we start itching down lower, look at that 151.5, that 150, 148.5, and that 147.5, and that 145 down from AMD. And for NVIDIA overall, man, I'm hoping that we hit or stay above that 170 level. If we can stay above that 170 level, I'm looking at that 175, 177.5, and that 180 level next for NVIDIA. NVIDIA is moving pretty insane right now, and it looks pretty good in the short term. But with that all being said, man, this good news can really help out NVIDIA stock in the long run. So keep NVIDIA, AMD, and other chip stocks on your radar with this. We also seen Palantir do insanely good yesterday. We broke out of that 145 level, and finally, man, we're touching that 150. So I'm going to be watching that 150 level for Palantir. If we could break above that 150, I'm looking at 151.5, 153.5, and that 155 level. If we could break above that 155 level, looking at that 160 level next. If we do start itching down lower, look at that 147.5, 145, and all the way down, back down to like that 143.5 to that 141.5 level. Another stock that also hasn't really been doing too good is Apple. This breakup higher might make us look a little bit better and maybe test that 210 to that 211.5. If we could break above that 211.5, I'm looking at that 215 next. If we could break above that 215, we could look a little bit more bullish. But we did get some decent news. So basically, they're set to announce a $500 million investment in MP Materials to secure magnets for iPhones and other devices as well. And they're also going to build a factory in Texas. So this might be better for Apple stock and some good news overall. So you might be able to trade it to the upside today. I personally been trading NVIDIA for the past couple of days, but honestly, I might take a little break just because of that event tomorrow. I don't want it to cook my trades at all. So I might move over to Apple and or even AMD, but AMD can potentially move with that news. Maybe even look at Tesla, some Tesla trades if we keep on going to the upside a little bit more as well. But we're going to be talking about some supports and resistance on Tesla a little bit later. But Tesla is still looking pretty good in the short term. So you could probably get some decent call options with Tesla, especially if we break above that 320. We have room to move to that 325 to that 330 next. So I'm kind of pumped to look at Tesla and how it moves. So a little bit more on Amazon and the Prime Day results. So US online sales reached $24.1 billion during the 4-day Amazon Day period ending July 11th, marking a 30.3% increase from last year, according to Adobe. This surpassed their 28.4% growth estimate. Amazon reported its biggest ever Prime Day, and honestly, man, it did pretty good, and Amazon stock is benefiting off of this. We're still moving decently slow with Amazon overall, but honestly, watch that 226 level. If we could break above that, look at 226.5, and then after that, look at 227.5, and then finally that 230 level if we could keep on breaking up past this level. If we don't though, look at it going to the downside, 225.5, 225, and that 224 all the way down to that 220 level for Amazon overall. Have your patience with this one, but if we do make a break above here, we might have some room to move to the upside even more. So keep Amazon on your radar as well. This is one that's going to be on my radar, but I wanted to move a little bit more. So Brazil did come out with a trade proposal, basically just asking for tariffs to go down to 30% from the US. I mean, honestly, Brazil isn't really going to affect the markets too much. We're mainly looking at, Europe, Mexico, Canada, and China, and even Japan. Those are like the bigger ones that can move the markets, but just wanted to add this in. So let's talk about something that happened yesterday. So Donald Trump came out. He's trying to secure peace as much as he can, but Donald Trump is pushing to end the Ukraine and Russia war with a two-pronged plan, sending Ukraine top-tier weapons like Patriots through NATO, with Europe paying. and threatening 100% tariff on Russia and their trade partners like China and India if Putin doesn't agree to a ceasefire within 50 days by early September 2025. He's losing his patience with Putin delaying and wants a deal to stop the fighting fast. With that all being said, we also got some more news overnight. Basically, Donald Trump came out asking Zelensky if we send the right amount of missiles and firepower, can they strike deep into Russia? So honestly, man, it is heating up fast. But maybe this can get a little ceasefire because this 100% tariff doesn't really look too good, especially on other partners, making their partners not really like them as much neither. So we're also seeing India and China getting a little closer. They met to discuss LAC de-escalation, trade, and cooperation. China skeptical of Trump's tariffs, which could strain India and China ties, especially with India's trade deficit and China's tech restrictions. We also seen Grok launch for government use, and they signed a $200 million deal with this. So honestly, man, Elon Musk is making a decent amount of money off the government, even though his ties aren't really as strong no more. And we also seen Tesla finally incorporated Grok into their cars, which is kind of cool. With all being said, let's get to some more supports and resistance. Let's start off with Tesla. You know, a lot of people are trading it right now, and we are in a bullish trend right now. Like I said before, though, I want to wait until it breaks that 320 level. After that 320 level, we might either get a bounce off of that and or movement up all the way to that 325 to that 330 level, and hopefully we can hit it because this might be the next stock that I trade. With that all being said, man, have your patience with this one because we can go to the downside. And speaking of the downside, do look at that 315, 312.5, 310, and 305 to that 300 for Tesla overall. Next, we're talking about Google. We do have earnings next week, I believe. So to the upside, do look at that 184. If we can break above that 184, look at that 185, 186.5, and that 190 level. It is crazy because honestly, I remember seeing Google at that 190 to almost that 200, touching that 200 level. And now we're all the way down here and we're almost about to reach it basically. With that all being said, man, earnings can potentially get it up to back to that 200 level. So I'm kind of pumped to see how Google moves. To the downside though, look at that 181.5, 181, and that 180 level flat. With that all being said, man, that's the plays, that's the news, that's everything that you guys need to know to trade today. Good luck trading today. Comment down below any stocks that you guys are watching. Smash the like button, subscribe. Let's get to 500 subs, at least 450 by today. Thank you for watching though. Check out those courses, first link in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.